I have a different level of approach and different level of respect. Like I'm in the market, and I'm in the market like, how can I help? How can I help build infrastructure? How can I help take this thing to the next level, instead of how a lot of people have gone there and like, oh, who can I sign? What can I do? That's never been my approach.
Bro, I respect that, man. And from working with people like SARS and Tim's and being international, everybody sees you on the podcast, of course. But man, young JuJu in Atlanta, playing football
Yeah.
at Morehouse, bro. What was that whole time like? Football JuJu, if you will.
That was a wild time.
Yeah.
That was a wild time because I
toting the rock, huh?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I didn't know like what I wanted to. Like, I knew I wanted to work in music, but I didn't know at what capacity. So at that time, like, I only got to play football for a year because I broke my ankle. And when I broke my ankle, I was like, I went to a state of like depression. I'm like, yo, I got to figure this shit out.
I had a similar experience. I feel you.
So it's like, that's the whole mental process. And it's like shout out to HBCUs, but they didn't quite have the proper.
You ain't got no training staff like that.
Not even necessarily training staff. You don't have like, when you have an injury and you're like, and this was your livelihood. It's like there's no psych evaluations. There's no like you don't go through a process of transitioning to, oh, you got to do everyday shit now. And it's like that by itself was enough. Like I went through like a wild dark phase where I was like, yo, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. I don't know like why I'm still at school. Like, but I knew that like I always had a vision that I wanted to work in music in some capacity. Yeah. So that's when I started doing like, I was definitely throwing parties. I was passing out flyers for Big Shine. That's crazy. Like I was just doing whatever I could do just to be around it. Wow. And stuff just started. It started. One thing happened after another.
Come on, man. So look, talk to me, man. How you go from passing out all the flyers to talking to the finance people before we get started with the interview, man? Hey, that's a big jump.
So it's so funny. I remember when Wiz Khalifa was big at the time. That's when phone numbers came out.
Was this like 2011,
2010, 2011? Yeah. So I went into Morehouse in 2010, 2011 year. I broke my ankle at the 2011 season. So everybody knew me as walking around campus with a big ass boot on. Cause I was lugging this fat ass boot around, and I'll be at the parties with a boot on. They'd be like, "How are you walking around?" I'm like, "Dog, like we get into it." Cause I refused to get surgery. Wow. And they were trying to get me to have surgery, and I was like, "Bro, I'm not going to do." They had to put a pin. I was like, "Nah. Yeah. We're gonna let this thing heal naturally. Yeah. I just won't play no more. I'm cool." So of course I'm on scholarship, so I got to figure that process out. Yeah. But at the time, I had literally went to what was that? A3C was here. And I went to a panel for, I believe BET was doing something for A3C that year. And I went to a panel and I met my friend Tola Lawal. And Tola, shout out to Tola. Yeah. I met Tola and I told her I wanted to work in music. And I was like, I forgot what question I asked her. But she was like, yo, just talk to me after. Wow. It's like, all right, cool. Mind you, you know how you tell people to talk to you after? Yeah. Most people are not going to follow up. No. But I just told you, I was going through this process. I was like, yo, I got to figure this shit out. Yeah. So I went and talked to her and I was like, yo, I really want to work in music. I really like I'm willing to do whatever. I ain't tripping. Like, shit, I don't know how much longer I'm be in school, but we going to figure this out. Like, she was like, all right. So I got somebody I want you to meet. So she introduced me to Mike Brinkley, who became my mentor. Mike is the team vice president at Rock Nation. Wow. So at the time, Mike was working with Big Shine. He was working with, that's before we got Dage, but he was working with Big Shine, working with Sci-Hi, working with John Connor. So he was working with a lot of different people, right? Yeah. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, so at the time, Mike's office was up by Windy Hill. So if anybody know Windy Hill, that's the Battery. Yep. I'm going all the way from Morehouse to Windy Hill every single day.
You're going from the West End all the way over there. Wow.
At the time, I didn't have a car.
Oh, wow.
So I would take, literally, I would walk to West End train station. This is with a boot on. I would walk to West End train station, hop on the train, ride the train over to Art Center station, and then hop on that bus that Cobb County Transit and ride Cobb County Transit.
That's what I was going to ask, yeah.
And then walk a mile from Cobb County Transit to the office.
Wow.
And I did that shit every single day. Wow. Like, I didn't care, like, rain, snow, sleet, I didn't give a damn. I was like, I'm pulling up. I'm dead ass. Like, if it was raining, I pulled up. So he was like, yo, eventually he realized, he's like, oh, this nigga's not going to stop. So he would give me like little knick-knack jobs. Like he would be like, yo, organize the list of, at this time, this was blog era. He would give me a master list of blogs and was like, yo, contact everybody on here and see who's going to get back, blah, blah, blah. He didn't think I would do it. I was literally hitting up people on the blogs and like just randomly DMing people because at the time they would send out these PDFs and it'd be like 3,000 people that work at different blogs. Man. And it'd be like all these random ass blogs you never heard of. But the beauty of it was those blogs were like, those are a lot of artists' first publications. So Of course, some of them didn't hit back, but I created like a little list. So people would hit me up because they knew that I can help their artists get on blogs. So that's how I would start making like little side money. I would help artists get on blogs.
Wow.
Or so I was doing like the early stage. That's the early stage of digital marketing. That was before it became like a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, doing that. And then like passing out flyers for Big Sean. Boost Mobile was really big at the time.
Boost Mobile, yeah, I forgot about that.
So they were doing a college campaign, and Big Sean and Wale were doing a free show on Clark's campus. So they were like, "Yo, we need somebody to pass out these flyers. We'll pay you to do it."
Say less.
Sign me up.
Come
so
on.
passing out flyers turned into me actually having tickets to the show too. So I was giving people knew me as a ticket guy.
Wow.
So of course from that, then I said I was throwing parties. So as I was throwing parties, one of my partners at the time, Maui, we had got the chance to do the weekend's first show here at the Fox Theater. So they gave us tickets for that shit too.
Wow.
So we were selling tickets, and this time like only a few people really knew who The Weeknd was. Yep. But we became a ticket plug for it.
That's crazy.
So folks started tapping in for us with that. So fast forward now, I'm jumping a little ahead in the schedule, but fast forward, I was at a festival and I seen these headphones. I went to a silent party and seen these headphones.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, this shit is fire.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, I gotta get into this business. Mind you, I was in Atlanta. I hadn't seen it at the time. So I was like, I gotta get into this business. So at the time, one of my partners, Shannon, he was like, yo, I'm actually investing in these headphones. You can come into business with me. You just take over the Atlanta market and you start building your markets out. I was like, all right, cool. So I started running the silent headphone parties in Atlanta. So I started the parties, and then I went from me doing Atlanta to me doing Nashville.
That's hard.
Then I started doing Orlando. Then I started doing St. Louis. So I was running all these silent parties. So mind you, in Atlanta alone, I was doing four parties a month in different, and I was strategic how I placed it because I put it in different markets. And I had partnered with a couple of my homies that I was throwing parties with initially. So I started doing silent parties. I ran silent parties for 2.5 years. In 2.5 years, I had built a database of like 270,000 people.
I remember, hearing you say
I built a database of like 270,000.
Yeah.
Mind you, I didn't understand the power of what I built.
Yeah.
But it was like people were like legit understood. Like they were like, yo, you have these wild ass parties. And I'm talking about literally from Earth Gang coming to Premier Records to us partnering with Nick Grant to partnering with Epic to like labels will literally send their new artists so they can hear because they realized we had fan bases. Well, we were building niche fan bases. Like I would do one on Edgewood, then I would do one at Halo. Halo was like my upscale for like if you the working person. Yeah. But then my hipsters were over on Edgewood with me at Black Cat. Then I would do like a brunch. I would do the silent party brunch.
That's hard.
So like it was just like we just started building. So all that, like I say all that to say, like literally all that has played into where I am now because like I've built a network of people like just knowing that I'm always been around some cool stuff.
Yeah. But
that I always to understand how to like elevate business.
Come on now.
So that led me into shit. I'm jumping way in the. My first time going into a building, I took over. Well, prior to that, I was managing artists and producers as well. So I started working with Young Chop. I started working with Danny Wolf and built Danny Wolf's brand from the Pablo Juan stuff to Juice World to Lil Tecca, Fago, Uzi. Like we probably had 15 plus plaques together. We built Chaos Club. So from Chaos Club, we went and got a label deal with Orchard. Really, really great situation. Yeah. And then from there, I just transitioned I took my first like label, quote unquote label job. I was the president of Icons and Giants, which was a label through ADA. And the reason I did that was because I wanted to see like, you can always build something on your own, but it's different when you get to go into somebody else's thing and see how the wheels turn. That's right. So that's when I like, prior to that, like I said, like I left Morehouse. I had left school. So my education was in real world experience. So if I never had the real world experience, like I had a label deal before I had the real world experience. Wow. I knew how to manage artists because I did several label deals. I did publishing deals, but to run a label was a whole different beast. Yeah. So when I went to the job as president, I started learning what KPIs were. I started learning like how to like really move the meter, like how to build the business. So that I did that for about a year. And I was like, this is not really the trajectory I see myself, or what I want to do. Like, this is like, shout out to Icons and Giants, but it wasn't just the situation that I wanted. Yeah. So from that, United Masters hit me up. My homie Dave hit me. He was like, yo, You're a producer guru.
That's dope.
He's like, man, I know what you got going on.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, we were building this thing out. I think you could be the perfect person to build it. So they brought me over in 2021, like smack down the pandemic. Wow. They're like, yo, you don't have to move to New York. You don't like. We want you to build the shit from the crib.
That's
I was like,
amazing, man.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I get paid to build from the crib, and I get insurance, and I get benefits. Say less.
You got a real career, bro.
Yeah,
come on, bro.
So I went over there in August. August of 2021. And we were prepared to launch by December of 2021. And by the time we were ready to launch, I had already put on 11,000 producers on platform. Wow. So they were like, hold on, I was like, bro, like I have a network of producers. I've been working with producers at this time for 5-6 years. Wow. So we went to market with 11,000 producers. To date, now we are about 150,000 producers. 150,000 producers, maybe 200,000-300,000 beats on the platform. But that transitioned me into like, they were like, yo, like you have much more value than just working with producers. Like, you still want to do the A&R stuff? I was like, absolutely. Like that's my bread and butter. People knew me as JuJu the A&R. Like I've been doing A&R work since 2012. So he was like, all right, cool. Come on to the A&R side. So I went over and they were like, yo, we're going to make you the director of A&R because you know what the fuck you're doing. And they made me director of A&R last year. And since then, like I've been rocking and rolling.
JuJu is him. It's okay to say that, bro. You already know.
I just stay, bro. I keep it, you know.
He's like, y'all just try. You know, they walk around, just try.
I'm just trying, you know.
Nah, I feel you, bro. A&R, that's like this cool title. You know, growing up, Martin in the 90s, they would have like certain, you know, episodes where like an A&R would show up and everybody trying to show up and show out. But what does that average day-to-day life look like for a typical A&R in the business? So
the reality is there's 3 different types of A&Rs, right? You have the A&R that's actually really invested in the music. Then you have the A&R that's invested in the music, but it's also the outside A&R. And then you have the analytics A&R, right?
Got you.
I am the mixture of the outside and the invested in the music A&R, right? And the reason I say outside and invested in music, I have to be outside to know what's going on.
That's right.
But I also have to be like, my network is the reason I'm able to put together the records I put together. Like the reason I was able to get Gunna on a SARS record is because of my network. I play golf with his videographer. So like that wouldn't happen if I'm not outside. So I think the day in life is different, but it's like you have to make it it's what you make it, right? Because you can be a really good analytics A&R, but all that's going to do is you're going to keep getting the same, like you're going to get stuff that's going to keep the lights on.
That's right.
I don't know if you're necessarily going to be able to build a long-standing career from that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Because like all it is you're finding spikes in different charts and you're like, oh, this person's dope. And it's like, are you really invested in the career of that person? Right? Whereas if you're outside and invested into the music A&R, it's like you get the chance to sit down and you're working through like, okay, what's the concept of this project? You're working through from the ideas of the videos to the tone of the music to what beat, even down to damn near what the BPM is in, or like literally paying attention to all the finite details. So I mean, the day in life changes drastically. Like it depends on who you have on your roster. So like my roster consists of people in Africa, but also artists here. So like
I'm be like real versatile with it.
Yeah, like so like I'm literally like I can go from 1 minute from talking about a record with Fireboy to now I'm talking about a record with Gunna.
That's crazy.
Or talk about a record with Moneybagg. Yeah. Like so like it's just the versatility of it. And I think to be a good A&R now, you just have to be versatile. Yeah. Because everything is changing so much. And I think, and this goes back to the initial question you asked about Afrobeats, Afrofusion, like it's becoming the new pop music. Like it is the new pop music.
Yeah, I agree.
And the reason I say that is like, the music can actually cross over into so many spaces. Like Bad Bunny was on a record with Burna.
That's crazy.
Like you couldn't tell the difference. Popcorn did a record on Burna Boy's album, and it's like the synergy was like you couldn't tell if it was a reggae record or like it's seamless. So like you think about popular music around the world, like that's why Burna can go do the O2 or DeVito can do the O2 because the music is so like you can literally touch any fan base and it's synonymous.
Yo, Chris Brown.
Chris Brown.
Sensational, right?
Chris Brown.
You feel what I'm
Shit,
saying?
Mona Lisa
Yeah,
produced.
bro, that's hard.
That's
too.
that's
one
Lil
of my
J and
favorites, man.
SARS.
Yeah,
That's Lil J and
that's one of my
but
favorites.
but literally that shows you like how popular the music is.
For sure.
So I think now, like being an A&R now, you have to be versatile.
Yeah.
You have to be able to open your palette up. Like I talk to my A&Rs all the time, like, yo, investing in your palette, like literally listening to everything. Don't like. I know everybody's gonna have a favorite genre or have a favorite style of music they listen to, but you gotta listen to everything.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, you'll miss out.
Yeah. JuJu, man, you dropped a major bar. You were playing golf and you brokered a deal. Growing up, old heads, man, they will always tell me, hey, Caleb, you need to learn how to play golf because this is where all the business deals happen. And, bro, you just proved that. So, man, playing golf, like, how did you learn how to play golf? What's that whole experience been like? If I'm not mistaken, it came from torn ACL, correct?
So I learned how to play prior to that. So I learned how to play golf. My uncle used to take me to, my uncle was part of this golf club called BDT, right?
Okay.
BDT is like a bunch of black entrepreneurs and businessmen in Atlanta, right? And it's a group of like 40, 50 guys that literally would go out to different golf clubs and play.
Yeah.
So he used to invite us when I was like 14, 15. And 14, 15, you just want to drive the golf cart. You know, I don't give a fuck about playing golf. I just want to drive the golf cart.
Yeah.
So me and my cousin be out there knuckleheads driving the golf cart and swing every once in a while.
For sure.
So then when I hit like 17, 18, he would invite us. We kept inviting us, and we actually started liking it. But then when I went to college, I didn't really like care about it that much. I was like, yeah, like I didn't have like, you broke college student, so you really weren't thinking about going to play golf.
Yeah.
But then I was just like, nah, it just wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
So during the pandemic, I picked up my uncle. I went to North Carolina, and my uncle was like, yo, here's these, you can have my old clubs.
Wow.
It's like, all right, cool. So the whole pandemic, I'm swinging my clubs. I'm like, yo, I really actually love this shit. This shit, I could be like, I'm not doing anything competitively right now. Like I'm not going to hoop or nothing. Like we will hoop every once in a while.
Yeah.
But I was like, yo, like, I don't feel like I can get hurt doing this shit.
Bro, I'm with you, man.
So
we ain't got time for that no more.
I would literally be swinging. I would be swinging my clubs, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna really dive into this. So I started driving range during the pandemic. Yeah. And then 2022, like we picked it up heavy. Like I was playing, literally it was bad. I was playing every single day. I would find a way to go play every single day. I would, whether it be the driving range or going to actually play around, and we would play every single day. But then on 404 day, I tore my ACL. Whew. So when I tore my ACL, I literally was like, I was like, damn, I can't go play golf. And the only thing I was asking my physical therapist and the dude who did surgery, Dr. Hammond, I was like, yo, am I gonna be able to play golf? He was like, it's gonna take a while for you to swing. Yeah. He's like, but he said you could be all right. Good. So I couldn't play golf for like 6 months. So after I got through that phase, 2023, we played heavy. So like
ready.
So now I got a group of homies that just start, they like playing. It's like six of us, seven of us that just go out, and we just like random weekends, like during the summer we played. I played so much golf during the summer.
That's dope.
So like, yeah, I think it's one of the things, I'm super competitive. Yeah. So it's one of the things that you can actually be really competitive with, but you don't necessarily gotta be competitive with your homies. You be competitive with yourself.
I like that.
So like, it's so funny because Dave was laughing at me, but I was like, yo, golf is literally the closest thing I could compare to life. Because literally it's 18 holes, and you're gonna fuck up on like 2 or 3 of those holes. Like you're gonna royally, like when I say it's gonna be bad, and you gotta either let that, you sit on that and dwell on it and move on and not move on, or you're gonna let bygones be bygones and go to the next hole and play better than you played the last one, and try to catch up. So it's like the same thing in life. Like if you sit there and you dwell on shit that happened yesterday or something that you can't even control, it's like, all right, you're not gonna progress in life because you literally sat there and you're allowing things that outside
still dwelling on past things.
Exactly. So so that's one of the reasons. Like now, like I'm fully invested in golf. Like that's, come on, bro. Like shout out to Elijah on Eastside Golf. Like yes, bro, I play heavy.
Yo, I love that, man. Look, 2024, I'm gonna try to start playing. So I'm gonna probably try to hit you up with some golf lessons, man. Because I'm gonna probably be trash.
I don't know about no lessons. Cause I ain't my swing changes. Like that's one of the things too. Like golf is one of those things where you have to be really like it's consistency. It's consistency. Like you literally,
sounds like life. To your point,
it is.
You gotta be consistent.
It is because you can literally like when I tore my ACL, I forgot how to swing.
Wow.
Like because your whole swing changes.
You got to relearn that.
So I had to relearn my whole swing again. So I was swinging like Charles Barkley for a second. I looked crazy, but now like over time, like I've gotten much better with my now my mechanics are better. Like this just now it also slows you down. Golf slows you. It makes you slow down. It makes you like, okay, focus on this.
Peaceful probably too. Because it's quiet.
First of all, golf. golf courses might be some of the most beautiful places in the world.
Yeah.
If you actually take the time to sit down, like the scenery and what's going on the golf course, like you'd be like, nigga, is that an alligator? Is that a flamingo?
It's just got nature everywhere.
It got nature. It's like, bro, like it'll take you some of the most beautiful places too. Like I'm going to Steve Harvey's foundation this year.
Nice.
My homie Tabiti puts that together, so I'm gonna go check that out and AUA, the UAE.
Yo, you ain't playing, man.
Nah, I'm definitely
stop hooping. Start playing golf.
Yeah,
man.
That hooping, bro. I can't. At this big age, bro, a turned ankle is that's a 3-week process, bro. Yeah,
I feel you, man. The Third Door. What impact did reading that book have on your life and personal development and things of that sort?
So with the Third Door, I think it goes back to even like the decisions I made back in, like I've always applied the Third Door without even knowing that I applied it before I read it, right? So you think about the decisions I made in college. Like I would go, like I only experienced one spring break. My first spring break was my freshman year. And that's because I was like, yo, like football, was not playing football anymore. Yeah. I had got a refund check. I was like, I'm gonna go experience spring break. But that was the only time I did it. Every year after that, I would spend my spring breaks going to South by Southwest. Wow. Or going to like I would take my refund check and literally apply it to that.
It's very mature of you, man.
It wasn't even about maturity. It's because I knew I wanted to work in the music business. And still, like, just because I'm going to South by didn't mean I wasn't going to party. I still was going to party, but I was going to party with a purpose.
Responsibly.
Yeah, responsibly. So party, but it's different when you party with a purpose, right? Come on. So you talk about the Third Door. The Third Door is literally like, if you don't go through the front door, you don't go through the back door, there's still another opportunity for you to get there. Come on. Right? So there's stories where I was like, we done finessed to get into Fader Fort. Wow. Didn't know anybody down there. Wow. And like, I'm like, yo, mind you, Fader Fort, this time, Fader Fort was like the big shit. And they're like, who are you with? I'm like, shit, I'm with this guy. Oh, I'm looking for the first face I see in Atlanta and a familiar face and just good energy. They like, oh, that's my dog. He good. So like just applying it that way of saying like, don't ever take no as the answer. Like there's still another opportunity. Like you done made it halfway. Like at this point, Texas is 11 hours. We were driving at this time. So we broke. You already made that's 11. That's a 13-hour drive. I've made it 13 hours. We gonna figure out how we gonna
make it 26.
Yeah, we gonna finesse. We gonna finesse something in here. So the Third Door is literally like, it's so funny because the Atlanta version of it would be the finesse. It's literally like find a way to make one. It's the Clark motto. Find a way to make one.
Panthers, not for sure.
So I think like with the Third Door, like it's all it does is it reiterates like just my approach to life. Like always find a way. Like don't make an excuse for why you can't do it, and find a way to get it done. Yes, and then if you can't get it done right now, it just might not be the time for you to do it. Yeah. And I like that's one of the things that I've golf has helped me with a lot is patience, right? And understanding my timing. Like who's to say like in my mind I should have been an A&R a long time ago. I should have been a director at a company a long time ago. Yeah. But the reality is, were you ready for the opportunity, or were you ready for where you are now? Because like now, I'm more than a director. I've helped build the label business, and it's like those opportunities. Like it's like okay, you took your time.
Stronger too now,
and I'm much stronger.
Battle tested, all those things.
Man, what?
Come on.
Ford tough.
Come on,
Ford tough out here, man.